Territory Sports, sponsored by your local Ford stores.
Hello everyone and welcome into a special Thursday playoff edition of The Hike. The Hill City football team opened the playoffs by picking up a big 53-0 victory over Great Plains Lutheran.
That's right, Noah. And tonight the Rangers took on Hamlin in a battle of 8-1 teams in the quarterfinals. Now it was noticeably colder down in Hill City than here in Rapid City. Warren Larmu says it was 5 degrees different. It felt colder though. Second quarter, Hill City's Brinson Vinaklasen airs it out for Zane Messick. He goes up, makes the nice catch for a gain of 36, but the drive ended with a missed field goal. Hamlin up 8-7 and knocking on the door. Jackson Wadsworth keeps it. He gets in for the touchdown. The Chargers added a 2-point conversion. Rangers looking to answer. Vinaklasen gets the ball out to Braylon Ron, and he makes the catch, and look at him tiptoeing down the sideline for the nice game, but this game would belong to Hamlin. The Chargers turn it on in the second half, and they advance to the semis with a 52-14 victory. Noah has some highlights from Sturgis.
The fourth-seeded Sturgis hosting fifth-seeded Watertown in the 11 AA playoffs. Felt good to be by that heater tonight. Here we go. Sturgis looking to pass, but right as Jackson Cano was throwing it, Watertown would cause a fumble, and they would end up falling on the ball and recovering it. They then would turn that turnover into some points. The Arrows knocking on the door, and they hand it off to their running back for the touchdown to tie this game up at 14. Watertown looking to add some more points. Their quarterback rolls out of the pocket and then decides to throw on the run, but then it is intercepted by Jackson Cano. The QB intercepts the other QB, gets a really good return before he is tackled out of bounds. The student section was loving every second of it. Party at the Buffalo Chip. Sturgis advances, winning 28-21. Vic, tell us about St. Thomas More.
Thank you, Noah. In the 11B playoffs, second-seeded St. Thomas More hosting seventh-seeded Mount Vernon Plankington. In the second quarter, this is the Titans' Tice Feisner on the quarterback keeper. He gets in for the touchdown. MVP tacked on a 2-point conversion. So it's 8-3 Titans. Josh Elder gets the handoff. Take a look at that hole. I could have gotten a few yards, I think, on that run. He takes it for 17 and a first down. Noah Walden working out of the shotgun. He puts it up for Ryan Nagebauer, and he makes a nice catch for a 13-yard score. The Cavaliers move on to the semifinals with a 31-8 victory. They're going to host Clark Willow Lake for a trip to the Dome next Friday. Noah has some Rapid City, or Spearfish actually. Got up some Spearfish highlights for us.
Yeah, Spearfish traveled to play Yankton tonight, and Yankton ran out ready for a fight. They have a direct snap to Miles Dortzman for the touchdown, and the Bucks are up 6. The Bucks weren't done there either. Tate Bestie throws to Owen Edness for the touchdown. It's now 12-0 Bucks lead, and the fans, they're loving it. Yeah, 6-7. And Vic just learned some Gen Z pop culture tonight. Spearfish says, how about 8-6? Jack Coquette wears 8 and is in for 6. Spearfish passing on this play, and Thomas Hughes would throw an interception, and that would do it. Yankton squeaks by Spearfish into the semifinals with a 12-7 win. Vic has some Rapid City Central highlights.
I do. I'm always lost, though, on that Gen Z culture. The Cobblers on the road to take on 7th-seeded Sioux Falls Lincoln. The Cobblers would strike first in this one as Braden Jackson gets the rock, reappears here on the other side of the scrum, dashes into the end zone, and the Cobblers lead 7-0. Lincoln would answer with a touchdown of their own, but Jackson was running all over early in this game. He breaks through the defense again, and he's in for another touchdown. How about this? Cobblers up 14-6, but then Lincoln would get things going. Brody Schaefer calling his own number to rumble into the end zone. Cobblers gave them quite the scare early on, but the Patriots turned things on in the second half as they win 60-21. To the scoreboard now. Rapid City Christian came up on the short end, falling to top-seeded Sioux Falls Christian at 54-0. Clark Willow Lake knocked off Winter 30-12. As we mentioned, STM hosts the Cyclones in next Friday's semis. In the 9A quarterfinals, Phillip picks up a huge victory over Ipswich 14-6, and top-seeded Wall rolls past Castlewood 41-0. So the Eagles will host the Scotties in next next Friday's semifinals. In the 11 AAA quarterfinals, Brandon Valley defeated Sioux Falls Roosevelt 41-14. Harrisburg knocked off O'Gorman 17-3. In 11 AA, Pierre rolled past T 41-7. And Huron won a tight game over Brookings 7-2. That could be the World Series score tomorrow. Noah has some soccer highlights.
South Dakota Mines soccer taking on 13th ranked Fort Lewis, and Fort Lewis wasted no time getting a goal. They got a corner kick, and it has resulted in a header goal. Fort Lewis leads 1-0. The Hard Rockers are trying to have a short mind, though. Alvin Yodo tries setting up Nicholas North, but North just misses the goal. Looked like he tripped himself up on the shot. Fort Lewis again with the ball, and they have it on the outside, and they shoot it, but it didn't have enough on it, and Daniel Freitas was there to handle it. But for the Hard Rockers, they would fall to Fort Lewis 5-1. And now let's send things back over to Vic.
Hard Rockers coming up a little bit short there. They'll be back in action at home, though, on Sunday. That'll be the final match of the regular season. Noah's a couple more football scores for us.
In playoff football action, Sioux Falls Jefferson defeated Washington 42-12. Lennox knocked off Tri-Valley 49-22.
All right, in college volleyball tonight, it was Chadron State with the win, 3-0 over Black Hills State. Semifinals coming up on Friday. We're back to Friday next week, and some pretty good games tonight.
Some amazing games, an amazing crowd atmosphere up in Sturgis. Absolutely crazy.
Big win for the Scoopers. Big win for Phillip tonight, getting it done over Ipswich. Phillip and Wall, those guys wrestled together in about a month. They're going to be playing for a trip to the Dome next Friday night. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of The Hike. We'll be right back.